Go figure.
What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Hey, sorry for the lateness. I have a little bit of technical difficulty here, but as you can imagine, this is our first rodeo, so bear with us as we progress and doing these live streams here. So I'm in the shop, as you know, Dustin, Raven Rock, Machine, got my buddy Jeff RC with the lovely SU30
What's up?
airliner. So what is going on? Who do we got
Is
in
what it is.
here? We got Mr. Weaver, Dave Marshall. We got Mr. GB.
What's up, Ruff?
What is going on, guys? Let's. Some people need some blue Renshaws.
Hook 'em up, man. Hook 'em up. What's up, Dave Marshall, GB Linden, Ruffinus,
Mike,
Josh Weaver? How are you, man?
Randy.
Cheers, all you guys. What's up, Ruff? Thompson's Hangar.
Yeah, man. So what's the Jeff? What's the 401? What's the latest info on that issue 30? Is it out of the box yet, or should I say my issue 30?
Yeah, right. No, as you can see, it's still in the box, man. I haven't taken it out yet. I haven't even gotten the airliner. Well, I took it out and put it back in the box. I've done some mods on it. Got some things coming down the pipe that I'm going to do. I might be doing two of them. So, got somebody else wants me to do one for him, as a matter of fact.
Problem. So
Let me mute this TV, man.
the ongoing joke about why I always claim that this is my issue 30 is there's a hobby shop about 30 minutes away from me, and short story is I always saw that bird, one of the bird, but I need my funds elsewhere as far as repeating goes. Jeff Bebop's butt travels an hour and a half to Raleigh, North Carolina, stops by the hobby shop and buys the damn thing out from under me. I'm like, come on,
Well,
man. Come on.
Well, it was one of those things, man, where it was like, I hadn't seen it in person. I'd seen it on GB's channel. I'd seen it on Ryan's channel. GB did a great unboxing, by the way, man. That was awesome. And when I saw it hanging in the store in person, I mean, you can't, you just can't wrap your brain around it until you see it in person, guys. And when I saw it in person, it was like, I gotta have this, And but I did walk out of the store, and when I went home and looked on the website, and I realized that it was back ordered until at the earliest mid-May, and then with the coronavirus in China, it might be longer than that. I called Brian Powers at Hangar 18 in Cary, I believe it is, and I told him, I said, man, I gotta have it. So went ahead and got it, and a friend of mine went to Raleigh a couple of days later, picked it up for me, and brought it back to Greenville, and yeah, there it is. So no, you ain't getting it, Dustin.
Man, I haven't bought another plane since I got the F-14, since we've been working on the F-14 project. Which, sorry guys, I missed the Mary Boozer show. I didn't know that Rich was going to be in there, and I didn't know that he was going to talk about the plates that we've been working on for. I know it seems like forever. We're like, the light is at the end of the tunnel. We're almost there. He's coming out with a video here shortly that will be released this week. I talked to him yesterday, and so we're going to have like a pre-order, and we're going to have it where it's just for me to know what people want, to price it accordingly, but the most important thing is to get the material in, so I'm not having a lot of inventory that's just kind of like sitting around, because as Rich said, if you were in the Mary Boozer show, we're not really making anything off of this, right? We're just kind of doing it for the community because people like the F14, but it has a lot of shortcomings to it, mainly if you fly off grass. And since he came out with these awesome mods, and given my facility what I can do, it's just it's just to help the community more than anything. Guniac, my man.
Yeah, and it's a great mod, guys. I mean, I've seen it in person, and what he's done with these plates, they're incredible. I mean, they just go right in. They look great. I mean, it's almost like one of those things where you need to take the wings off the plane just to look at what he's done. I mean, they look it's perfection. I mean, they look really good, and they're going to really stiffen up that suspension as he showed in his video. If you guys haven't seen that one, you need to go check it out at Raven Rock Machine and Aviation, where he did the video of some pretty hard landings testing out the gear. Actually, I think he messed up the nose gear. It gave way, and then you went back and reinforced it, actually, which was another mod that you might want to touch upon too with the guys on that plane. But yeah, the rears, they held up well. Did a great job.
Yeah, so during that testing, no, the nose gear was reinforced, and what I'd done, it actually had cracked the servo housing, and then I bit the strut.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize until after I was repairing.
But the servo didn't come out.
No, it's it just cracked, and the only reason I found out about it is I was taxiing the plane around in the shop, and I kind of looked at the front nose and just had so much play because it'd be standing basically vertical, then you give it thrust to go, and it just kept rocking back and forth. I'm like, this ain't right, and of course took it out.
Exactly. But I tell you what, though, the main gear held up well, did a great job, and then the new the thrust pull test that you did on it the other day on that jet was incredible too. You might want to just throw a little insight as to what all you dropped in there too, because one of the guys at our field, Baron Walker, that you guys have seen fly at our field, he's real into the F-14, and I was telling him about Dustin's pull test, and he was curious to know. So Dustin, you might just want to touch upon what you put in that plane to get that kind of thrust out of it.
Yeah, so the thing about the F-14 is, it's a very heavy bird. It is the second, I dare to say the second heaviest, that to the A-10 being the first, of the free-wing models. And personally, I put 4 flights on this plane during the landing testing. I put 4 flights on it. And as I'm flying it just didn't have the punch. It felt very, dare say, lethargic. And I was afraid to come below 3/4 of throttle just for stalling. And I'm not doing loops, inline rolls. Like, I'm just flying a basic circuit. Of course, the first flight maiden is to get the plane trimmed out, and then thereafter is actually enjoyable. So that was the biggest thing. I was like, man, this plane needs more power. Now, a lot of people go to the A10 because it's a lighter EDF, it's plastic versus metal. You don't get more speed as far as airspeed and top speed, but you get more like thrust, more like grunt down low. The way I can describe it is kind of like a car. You're having torque, comparing like a Honda to like a Mustang, right? That four banger is going to put out really low amounts of torque versus the Mustang is going to put out about, let's dare to say, like 400 foot-pounds, 350 foot-pounds. So you're going to get up and go quicker. Your acceleration is going to be better. And I was like, let's take this a step further. Like, let's actually see. So got in the end runners. Those were the 1875. Those are the 3658s. And this was an expensive mod by all accounts. I've got a good penny, and I don't want to add it up because I don't. It's just one of those planes like you don't think about how much money you got into it. But I was very, very surprised at the increase in thrust because that.
Well, Dave Marshall was asking if you had put the FMS Platinum 2100 kV end runners in there. What did you go with?
So that was the Free Wings inline runners, and the reason I went with that is because a buddy of mine, Brendan, he's up in Pennsylvania. him and I, he loves the F-14. He flies off grass, and so we kind of been bouncing ideas off each other. And he went with the FMS 2100s, and then I went with the Free Wing. And we've been talking back and forth. When we were testing the initial thrust of the aircraft, I was getting about, as a documented video, about 7 pounds of thrust. Talked with him, hey, what's your thrust? Yeah. He was getting right around 7 as well. So we're using each other's data to compare to make sure that what he's seeing and what I'm seeing is accurate. So the numbers are not skewed. So it's more of a scientific type testing. So right. He's out of country right now. All his stuff's supposed to be coming in this week. And so next week, he's hoping to be able to put it all together, finish it up, and do his testing and video as well. So I'm eager to see. I know Ray, Mr. Guniak, I know he loves the FMS.
Props, Ray. Yeah.
EDS.
And I'm looking forward. Ray's got the afterburner sent out for the SU back here, man. He just told me in the chat, and can't wait to get those put in there, Ray. Thank you for sending those out to me, man. It's going to look really good. I saw Nate's maiden. Congratulations, Nate. If you're in here tonight, your maiden on your SU, man, look great. And Ray, you can see those burners, man, in the air. They look awesome, bud. Great job on those.
Yeah, I follow Nate. Nate's Nate Loves Planes on Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was scrolling through there today and saw it and commented on it. Ray did an epic job.
Very good job, yeah. And I mean, for $80 ship, guys, you can't beat the price. I've put one in my MiG-17 already. It's one of the simplest installs I think I've ever done. It's plug and play. You even get a switch. You can turn it off and on. Plugs right into your balance adapter on your battery. I put it in, I think, approximately 10 minutes. What took the longest was taking the fan out, popping it on, putting the fan back in, and running the wires to the front. Other than that, guys, this thing is plug and play, and you cannot beat it for how bright it lights up. And like one of the guys at our field said, he said, man, that's the Guniak. He said, and it's a price that everyone can afford. And it is, guys. I mean, you can't beat the price of this thing for the all factor that you'll get at the field for it. So you definitely need to check it out and get with Ray and get you one.
Yeah, just to check this out. This is Guniak's. This is the F-18. This is my first one. And that's my Honda Civic. But look at that. I mean, that is so bright. I wish we could really fly these planes at night to really see that afterburner. But,
hey, look, man, Ray, we were talking about it at the field on Sunday afternoon. We were almost there till dark. And I said, Ray will fly in the dark, man. How he sees what he's doing, props to you, brother, because that man will fly a jet at practically dark, and it looks amazing in the sky, man.
Yeah, I don't. It's something I can't do. The only plane I fly at night is the Timber, because that's typically when I have the most fun with it.
Yeah. That thing's got like floodlights on it, man. I mean, it's like.
So I don't know if you remember the. Well, no, I think you got one. The E-Flight, the big Cessna, the red and white one.
Well, I've got the big Beaver. I've got the 2,000 millimeter Beaver. So.
Well, excuse me. The light system that's in that carbon Cessna.
Yeah.
I bought it to put into my carbon Cub SS Plus, but I've never got around to doing it. So I was trying to make it kind of like a Timber, but more aerobatic. Just it's a big plane, but just like your Beaver is.
Yeah, I love a big Beaver. And Dave, hey, look, Dave Marshall, you might fly at night, brother. Look, I am a damn chicken. I'll own it, man. I mean, I'm not going to tear up my mess. I will fly at sunset to where I can see the plane, but I wear contacts, and I've lost orientation of my damn A10 one day, man, and it's like, let alone flying them at even darker times, there ain't no way, man. And yeah, I'd love to be like Ray and fly my stuff later in the evening too, because it does look awesome with the lights and everything. But hey, long as I can see a little flicker, man, I'm happy. But yes, Dave, I am chicken. I'll own it.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it's like Oh, it's like what in Karate Kid. It's like you've got to become the ball, or like like a little Asian guy. Like you got to become the ball, or whatever it is. Become one with the ball.
Yes,
That's what Ray does. Ray becomes one with that plane, be able to fly at night like that.
definitely, man. Yeah, I mean, and I was talking to Byron out at the field Sunday, and telling him about Ray. I mean, this is a guy that'll take a fan out of a jet at the field, throw it on the table, balance that sucker, throw it back in there, and I'm going, wow, really? I mean, I don't want to take my mess apart unless I'm at home.
Right.
And he throws it back up in the air like it's nothing, and it sounds amazing. And yeah, so he is one, man. He's one with these planes. There's no doubt about it. Ray's killing it.
Especially, I like Ray. I like the video where you're doing the Bayhawk for the kid, and the kid keeps asking questions and questions and questions because he wants to learn. But you can even I was like, man, that kid's kind of getting asking one or two
Yeah,
questions. But Ray took it like a
yeah.
champ, and he took it in stride. I know some guys are just be like going somewhere.
Yeah, and look, and I mean, and look, props to Dave Marshall for being on the Boozer show the other night. Great show. That UMX Timber, man, it's a cool looking plate. I've got the original, and I noticed that Dave and GB had them on their channel, man, and yeah, they do look awesome. And yeah, the lights on the original UMX are killer, Dave. Very impressed with those. The only thing that we did to those lights was we kept building each light up with a little CA to make them more rounded, especially on the wing tips and in the front end of the plane, so that they actually you could see them better from the sides of the plane, because coming out of the box they were kind of flat into the wings. And if you kept building them up with a little CA, a little kicker, a little CA, a little kicker, it kind of made them more rounded like they should have been. Now I don't know if the new UMX Timber has the more rounded lights. But I do like the new landing gear that GB was showing as well on the new Timber, because yes, you do get some dinging. I went in there and modified my Timber with a little bit of plastic from a milk carton and CA'd it in so that it didn't hit when I landed. Just a few little mods like that. But yeah, that is a great plane. And I'm kind of like GB though. The new nose is kind of growing on me a little bit. I'd like to probably see it in person as well. But as far as a great flying UMX plane that's reasonably priced, right out of the box, you get a case to carry it in. You can fly it almost anywhere. Yeah, they are great planes. The guy in Raleigh was telling me the other day, as a matter of fact, Dustin, that they had a fly-in indoors a couple of weekends ago. And that's something I'd like to get into myself, is doing some of that inside when the weather's bad and things like that.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about it. No, because they do it at a church that's, I don't know, about 20, 25 minutes away from the house. And the first time they did it, they had, as you can imagine, just a crap load of crashes. A guy had brought a MiG, UMX MiG, to fly it in a gymnasium.
Right.
It was like, it was fun for all about 15 seconds till he crashed to the wall.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of cool planes out there, and then the second time they done it, people understood like what to do and what not to do, and then I was going to go to the third time, but completely forgot just because of work.
Well, I won the little MiG 15 from Dave, and I'm gonna tell you, man, that's a killer flying little jet. Good little hand tosser. It flies great, especially with the built-in gyro system on it. Good flying little jet, and I'll tell you, this F-15. If any of you guys, especially getting into jets or anything, have not ever looked at this jet, I won it from Dave's RC. Probably a couple of them. Well, it's back in November, and I'm just going to tell you, that is an amazing flying little jet. I've flown it off 3S. Matter of fact, I ordered 4S Smart Packs from the hobby shop in Raleigh, where I got the SU. Ordered them last week, so they're probably in the mailbox today. But so I'm gonna wake it up with some 4S packs. But I'm telling you guys, I mean, I'm flying this thing off of grass with 3S Smart Pack, and I mean, I'm getting 3.5 minutes out of it, bringing it down at about 3.8. It is an incredible flying plane, and I put the Admiral gyro receiver in it because Dave sent me the plug and play, not the bind and fly. So I put the Admiral receiver in it, and I'm telling you guys, it's locked in. Everybody at the field is amazed at how good this thing flies and actually takes off on grass with a 3S pack. So I can't wait to put a 4 in it, maybe take the gear off, take the ordnance off, because I'm flying it fully dirty, guys, and it's killing it. So for $159, if you've got a $29 receiver hanging around, you want to throw in a plane, have fun tossing it around. I know Lee Davison flies it a lot. I think Reckham Roy flies it some. Dude, it's a killer plane to get out, have fun. If you bang it up, you haven't lost $500 or $600 like you have in these guys here. So definitely check it out, guys. It's a great little jet, F-15, and that's by E-flite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I started out with I got the UMX MiG-15, the first one, the red one, the solid red one, from Brian at Hangar 18. He sold it to me for like $30 because I mentioned like, hey, I want to get in jets, but I don't want to go and buy a Viper or F-16. You know, I don't want to do that and not really get into it or sink that much money into it. Because honestly, at that time I didn't have a lot of trust in my flight skills. So he sold it to me, and it came with like 4 batteries. He had it for a good bit, and that is what got me started in jets. And prop planes are still fun, but it's like once you go jets, you really don't go back.
Well, I mean, and it's like we were talking the other day. Dustin and I were talking on the phone. Guys, that new Pitts, it's a beautiful plane. And Dustin was talking about, it's calling his name. I'm not going to take anything away from it. I love the look of it. I think it'd be a great flying plane. I'm just not into the biplanes, but I've never had one. So, I don't know. I may love it. But as far as the look of it, the putting together, the flight characteristics from everybody I've seen, it looks like a great plane. So I could see why Dustin would want it for what it is, just as a good, nice, big plane to get out and fly. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that plane, man.
Yeah, and my thing is like I'm not into 3D planes like
right, me either.
Hundreds. I'm not, but what got it is I got that UMX. I got a UMX Pitts. I had a UMX Pitts. If you have a UMX Pitts, do not. I always just hand toss it because it's so small, it just flies on its own. But try to land it on grass. If you don't land it just right, it's like you break it right in front of the landing gear on the nose
yeah.
fuselage. And I had so many toothpicks in it, so much CA. I mean, it got to the point where I crashed it and I just took the motor out and threw it away. It has lived this life. Plus, I got a really good deal. I got it for $25, so I'm not complaining. But how it handled, if the big one handles like that, I'm in it. That was a fun plane to fly.
Well, and that's what a lot of guys say. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys flying the little UMX Pitts, and they love it. So, and from seeing Ryan fly it and some of Northeast FPV, man, you guys know how I feel about them. I think, Josh Weaver, he's debuted them on his channel. These guys are incredible, and they did a great video on the Pitts. I think it came out yesterday or today. I watched it. And these guys do killer drone footage, chase video as well, put great music to their stuff. Plus, they're flying on a beach. So, I mean, how bad can it be? But these guys are awesome. And they flew that Pitts, man, and they just make it look like it's just an amazing flying plane as well. And I'd like to, hear from Josh. I'd like to hear from Ryan and some other guys as far as, I think Josh today, his video came out with was it the Prometheus that Josh was flying? Yeah, that was a sweet plane, Josh, and I love your different camera angles. And, man, to be a one-man show and have different camera angles, man, you rock, dude. That was killer, and I told you that in the comments. Great ideas. But I'd like to hear what Josh thinks. I'd love to see him fly the Pitts and see what he thinks as far as the characteristics and how they compare in flight characteristics, whether one flies better, more stable. Because I think some of the guys might like to know that too, because that Prometheus, that's a bad scheme on that thing, man, with the flames coming down. It's just nasty looking,
Yeah, there's Josh, what did you not like about that Prometheus? I'm curious to hear about. Because the other hobby shop, um, Jeff, that I was talking about going to, Raleigh,
Yeah.
they've got a Prometheus that's secondhand, and they've got a higher number on it because they don't want to get rid of it. But it's kind of one of those things that somebody wants enough bad enough they'll buy it. But they've got one. Um,
Are they the same wing size, Dustin, as far as the wingspan, things like that? Do they run off the same packs? I mean, what's the specs on them? Do you know?
I want to say I want to say it's still a 6S. Let me pull it up right quick. So it is a, or if
Okay, Josh is saying that the wheels, the noise. Do you mean the wheels weren't as good as the pits, or better, or and the noise, was it better or worse, Josh? Give me a little more. Let's see. Dave Marshall says, that's what I love about the Prometheus. It's a super sexy looking. Yeah, you're right. It is bad looking there,
when,
Dave. I will say that, man.
when Dave says it's super sexy looking, I think
Yeah.
the Stitcher Brothers like this is sexy. This is
Sexy.
it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, that's too funny. But hey,
As Dave would say, as Dave Marshall would say, that's one sexy bitch.
oh man, that's too funny. Speaking of that, so if you ever watch Pulp Fiction, just kind of off topic, just jump off topic for a little bit. So my meal, anytime I've got it set now to where when it ends a program, there's like a little audio clip that it plays to let me know it's done. And the audio clip is from Pulp Fiction. It's where Samuel Jackson is interrogating the guy, and he's asking you, "What does this guy look like?" And it's like, well, does he look like a bitch?
Yeah, and that's what your machine is asking you these days.
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
What's up, Farmer Man? How are you, buddy?
Mary Boozer. Let's ask Lori about that one.
Yeah.
I'm super sexy. Oh man. What's up,
Hey,
Farmer
Farmer
Man?
Man, Dustin's on the controls, man. I don't have the controls. So, Dustin, hit the man up with a wrench.
Gotta hit my PayPal. Look, $40. Ryan is 50. I'll do $40.
Yeah, humming. We're raffling them off today.
We don't get super chats. We ain't up there.
Right. If you'd like to send to our PayPal, well,
If you want to see a pit spot.
pay this pal, okay?
Oh, hey, look, you've got 2 new aircraft. I need to get one. I honestly,
Well,
I really want to buy that Pitts, man. I just can't get over. I was going to think that it's going to be like $350 because the P-47, and I know you're comparing a plane that has retractable landing gear and tail wheel as well. It's about what, 380, I believe. But this Pitts,
yeah.
that's a lot going on for that Pitts, and it's still $280. Like that's a freaking killer banging deal.
Yeah, it is a great price, man. From what I've seen looking at it, yeah, you can't beat that price for that size plane and for what all you're getting, the ease of putting it together, the construction. From what I can tell looking at the videos, the quality of the finish on it is incredible. I mean, I think it looks great. Hello, Wesley Boozer. How you doing tonight, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by, buddy.
Yeah, and the but that HSD, the racer.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but that plane, and I think I saw where Mr. Weaver mentioned like that paint is smooth, very smooth in it.
Well, and it looks like the pits. I mean, if you look at the HSD and the pits, they kind of have that same finish from what I could tell on Ryan's show the other night with the HSD and the pits in comparison. They kind of look like it almost looks like the foam is red and not painted. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. That'd be pretty cool if they actually could do that. Like if they could dye the foam right when they make it. I don't know if that process is even possible, but hey, that'd be pretty cool to set themselves apart, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't have to worry about hanger rash so bad, man. I mean, that's the problem. Look, you fly these planes, guys, as carefully as you can, right? You set them down on the ground carefully. You do it. And I don't know about you guys, but walking it out of the house or taking it out of the trailer, it's like you're being careful, you're almost out, and bam, you go, holy crap, did I just do that? You know, and yeah, I mean, so yeah, paint it, if the foam were the color through and through, yeah, that would definitely help a lot with hanger rash. So we need to pass that on to Alpha, man. That would be a good thought for him to see if they could do colored injection into the paint. Some foam is painted, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Or not painted, but it is actually through and through that color. I've seen some planes done that way.
Right.
So I mean, you know, and then you look at let's see, I saw who was it? I've seen a couple of guys flying. I saw Wesley Boozer today. He put up a video, great video, flying the new Smart P-51, as we call it. He did a great job. That was a great flying there, Wesley. That plane, you know, makes me want it too, because I love a P-51 as well. And that's a great looking scheme, great looking plane.
What's up, Wild Bill? Fred Barron, ever watch Pulp Fiction? Where Samuel Jackson interrogating a guy, and he says, well, does he look like a bitch? That's what my CNC machine says. I got another one that says, like, where he's like, say what? Say what? One more. Yeah. I love that.
Hey, look, just get it to say your name, man. You know what I mean?
Dude, I got too many people throughout the day saying my name. I don't care to hear my damn name.
You gotta have it in the right voice, though. You gotta have it in the right voice, man. Come on now.
Now you're just getting kinky and dirty and shit. On the first screen.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, you know?
Right on.
Hey, big boy.
Oh, man. Mary Boozer saying his P-51 wasn't smart. It was dumb because it didn't have a smart battery.
Oh, Lord. Well, I tell you what, you flew it like it was very smart, man. That was a nice touch and go. Weather down there, dude, which we had almost 70 here today. So, hey, I'm not complaining. But, God, I would give anything to live down there where you guys are and have the weather you guys have year-round, because I hate cold weather. I hate it. And we have had an awesome winter here in North Carolina this year. I mean, we've had more warm days than we've had cold days. We had a little bit of snow. What was it, Dustin? Thursday night? But it was gone by what? Saturday morning?
Yeah. So we had gotten snow. And the thing about North Carolina is, like, when you mention sleet, snow, freezing rain, or anything that deals with, like, frozen precipitation, North Carolina, and I kid you not when I say this, shuts down. It shuts down. Because what they'll do is they'll go and they'll put brine on the road, salt on the road, and then when the storm comes, rain comes first, so it washes all this stuff away. Then it rains, then it freezes, then snow comes. But but no, we had it snowed on Thursday. Friday was cool. Saturday was warmer, and then on Sunday we had like 65-degree weather. So in a matter of what?
Exactly. We flew all day Sunday, man. We flew till dark Sunday. It was beautiful out there. Great day.
Lucky dog.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. But look, as you well know, and especially up where you guys are an hour and a half west of us, which is more towards the mountains. So you guys normally get colder temperatures and more snow than we do up around your area. But I don't know about there or where you other guys live. But in North Carolina, if there's a mention of a snow, you can't buy a loaf of bread, you can't buy a gallon of milk, you can't buy eggs. You can't. I think people just sit inside and eat. I mean, and you would think that we're gonna have enough snow that they'd be snowed in for days. They might be at the house for what, a day?
Yeah.
I think my wife went to the grocery store Thursday evening because, we're one of those two, got to go get a few things. And she was like, there wasn't hardly anything in the store. I'm like, why does that not shock me? And there wasn't even anything on the roads here, Friday morning. I mean, there was probably 4 inches on the ground, but at 50 degrees with the roads and everything, as far as the temperature of the ground, there was nothing on the roads. But yeah, you think it was a Holocaust, man, or something. I mean, people are rushing to the store, they're buying water, they're getting food. I mean, it's like, damn, all y'all gonna do is sit in the house and eat for days.
Yeah, and like the thing about it is I went to Walmart this morning, right? There was a guy that
Yeah,
was trying to return a generator, and the manager came up and popped the lid, popped the gas cap off, put his nose in it, and said, "There's gas in it. You put gas in it. We can't take it back. You ran it." And he was
that's
like,
right.
"What? What?" And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I know what you did. Everybody knows what you did. You went and bought that generator in case you lost power. Then you didn't, it didn't hit really hard as the meteorologist in the European model was showing.
Right.
So, you're just trying to get your money back, man. It's like, dude, for stuff like that, just go to Harbor Freight.
Exactly. I mean,
But
they got some good stuff coming out there as far as generators and stuff too, man. You can't beat them, especially compared to the Honda generators. Those Harbor Freight ones are quiet, they're nice, they're easy to carry. Yeah. Hey, I love me some Harbor Freight. Look, almost got a tear in mine today. I got a video on YouTube that said Harbor Freight closing, no stock. I went, wait a minute, what? I mean, this can't happen. I mean, I should be keeping the one in my local area open because I'm in there like every week buying something, and I've always got the coupons and the magazine when I walk in. So
heck yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it's like my well, I can show it to you like that. That's from Harbor Freight. My little toolbox.
that's right. This one right here, let's see, where's it at? Yeah, right here behind me. That right there is Harbor Freight, man. 189 with the coupon. You can't beat it, man. That is an awesome toolbox. Love it. What's up, Photon? How are you tonight, baby? Good to have you,
Is
man.
Dirty Ricky in here?
Yes.
Ricky.
Yes. Ricky, my Ricky.
But,
Ranger.
But I mean, it's interesting too because we get a lot of people that come from up north, mainly like New York and above, that come down here, and a lot of them, they're the ones that are complaining about the roads and the ice, because that's what gets everybody down in North Carolina is the ice. We see more ice
Yep.
than snow, and that's really
Yeah.
what causes a lot of issues down here for us. But yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
that's the thing. Let's face it. We got some good old country boys here, and they think they got these big jacked up 4-wheel drive trucks. Well, at the end of the day, if you're on ice, man, it don't matter if you got 4-wheel drive, 8-wheel drive. It don't matter if you got an amphibious machine, man. Ice don't care, And look, you see these guys coming up to a stoplight where there's ice, and they just slide right on through or past, And I'm thinking, dude, I don't care if you wreck your stuff, but don't slide into mine over here.
Right.
I'm being real careful,
Well, it's like before 'cause, I mean, nobody knows what the storm's going to do. So what I ended up doing was taking, I drive a diesel truck, so ended up taking a pallet of anchor bolts. My family, we sell commercial boating supplies, and put a pallet in the back of the truck just to weigh the rear end down, just so
Right.
you get some traction. And a lot of people don't
That's
think
right.
about that. They think 4-wheel drive truck. I'm like, nuh-uh, that ass end of that truck, it's light.
Look, a good old country boy from a good old country boy, he's got about 4 hay bales that are wet in the back of his truck. He knows the deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big difference, man.
Oh,
But Josh Weaver, man, Josh Weaver lived in North Carolina. He knows how it is. He's up north now. So, he kind of gets where we're coming from with the whole North Carolina thing. Don't you, Josh? Tell the truth now.
I see where you guys got your EDM. So I'm assuming it's a Syncer EDM machine, which that's going to open up y'all's capabilities a lot. And for guys that don't know, that's just it's a piece of machinery used to cut metal using electricity. Um,
That's an awesome machine, man. That octopus he did,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that was killer.
Oh yeah. I was like, man, I kind of want one, but then it's one of those things where if you ask, or if you go on the website and he says request a quote, that means it's expensive.
Yes. Yes.
So I was like, because I got some other machines coming, but that's for another subject. So, question for you guys that are tuning in tonight, and I appreciate everybody being here for our first live stream. Is
Definitely.
what plane do you hope to see come out this year? Right? We're already about to be in March, and it just seems like yesterday 2020 hit. So this year is flying by, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, look, man, I don't know about these guys, but that F-16 HSD, it's got my name all over it, man. I mean, hey, right here, I want the big boy to this one,
I'll bring
That
my
is a
little,
bad plane, man. I
I'll
gotta
bring my
say.
little E-flite 70 millimeter and put it
Yeah,
for the size comparison.
exactly. That's right. Hey, but look, man, I'm gonna tell you, this SU, uh, you see it in person, and GB will probably vouch for this, or Ray, because he's seen it. Some other guys. This SU is just about as big as that HSD F-16, man. It is a big plane. And from everything I've seen video wise, it looks to be a very docile flying plane. And Ryan, he flew it with a 7,000 pack, man, and had that pack all the way back to the bulkhead and was still having to give it a little bit of nose down in his flight. So that's a good sign as well. I mean, I'm thinking I'm gonna be flying 6,000s in it. So, and I know Ray is like me. Ray likes the HRB 6,000s as well, and that's what I've got right many of myself and really like them. But yeah, I mean, on the wish list for me, I know is that I'd love to have that HSD F-16 just to say, yeah, I got it.
GB says he wants a Draco. Man, I bet money if they came out with a Draco, you're like gonna get a bigger car.
No doubt.
And just to pick on GB for a little bit, he has to take apart his planes to get a car, which is perfectly fine. Now, my friend that's been like my mentor, he has a Ford Fusion, and he can pack that son of a gun with some planes. And let me tell you, one time he came to the field and had like 4 or 5 planes. He had the FMS, was it the Piper, the big like carbon cub. He had an A10. He had a Bayhawk. He had a E-flite Maul. I mean, all this packed in like this 2-door car. I'm like, or 4-door car. I'm like, how in the heck? He goes, Tetris, man. I used to play it all the time.
But look, that's like in the tube deep, man. You watch him; he can pack some planes in that little Tesla too, man. I mean, I'm like, where in the world is he putting them? He's got them broke down in the trunk and all this, man. I mean, I ain't lying. He can get them in there though, that's for sure.
Yeah, I hope to get a trailer at some point.
But now look, Ray's packing some planes in a car too, man. I've seen Ray putting some stuff in the back of his car too at his field.
It's all about that dedication, right? It's like, I want to fly these planes, and if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out.
That's right, man.
Feel.
That's right. Well, I mean, if you got blankets and foam and this and that, but the bottom line is, I got an 18-foot trailer, man, and that's not even to the V and the tongue. You just don't never have enough room, man. I mean, not if you want to carry. I like to carry a lot of stuff. That way I got options depending on the wind, depending on crosswinds, things like that. I got options because invariably, if you don't take that plane, just like Sunday, prime example, I didn't carry my spit when I left the house because there was a little bit of a crosswind. I was checking the wind vane on my phone. It was saying it was going to stay at a cross. Well, I saw Dave Marshall talking the other day about wanting that Spitfire. Well, Dave Marshall, let me just tell you, buddy, that Spitfire is an amazing flying plane. I love mine. I've done 2 of them now. They're beautiful and they fly incredible once you get it off the ground. Lands incredible, but that Spitfire, you got any crosswind or whatever, I'm telling you, man, it wants to torque roll so bad, and then you're fighting in a little bit of right rudder, especially depending on your crosswind. I like no wind with my Spitfire because I don't have to worry about it. So I didn't carry it Sunday. Get out to the field, flew a little bit, had some fun. By Sunday, just about, 4 o'clock, the wind fell out. There's nothing, man. I mean, beautiful. And at that point in time, I'm going, see there? I should have brought the Spitfire today. And I didn't have it. So, yeah, and guess what? I didn't have room to put it in the trailer anyway. So, see what I'm saying? I mean,
always that. It's always that.
Exactly. That's right, man.
Hey, Adam. I just wanted to shout out to Adam. Adam actually he's in Sanford, of North
Okay.
Carolina. He comes out to the Piedmont, which is where I fly at. I'm a member of. So thanks for joining us there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome, Adam.
but the thing is, if GB can get that SU-30 in his car, I dare to say he can get just about any damn plane from market today. It's in his car.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's like these guys that are cramming this airliner into these cars, man. They're taking wings off. Look, got
yeah.
a trunk up going down the road.
Well, it's like I saw a Victor Shamulus, right? He has
Uh-huh.
his is all orange, and he had it in the
Mhm.
passenger seat like buckled up.
Yep.
I went because it's so big. Like, can you just take the carpool in at that point?
Well, you know,
Oh,
and
that's right.
that's one thing about this plane right here, man. If there's no doubt, if I wanted to take the time to do it, I could do it all day long. But I have a trailer, so I'm not going to. This plane, where it goes together at the fuselage,
Hmm.
you know, it's about 2/3 and a third, and there's a split where you put it together with carbon fiber, and which I'm going to reinforce with carbon rods. I'm sorry, I'm going to put more carbon rods in, but again, if this could be done with magnets all the way around so that they'd be strong enough to hold that rear end, but you could take that rear end off, man, you're talking, I don't know, probably what, 2.5 feet
Hmm.
that you could narrow this plane down. And then if you had quick connectors for everything from the rear end from that point back, that would truly help. And I just don't think it could be that hard with the proper magnets, especially as strong as earth magnets are all the way around this fuselage. So that's something that if anybody wants to take a challenge and look into doing, I think it'd be an awesome thing because it would really help out a lot of guys with the smaller vehicles. Because if you could break down 2.5 feet off of this plane, plus taking the wings off, I mean, you've really made your carrying a lot easier. You know.
What? Hold on, Adam. You got a MiG 29 that's 72 inches long, and why am I just
Damn.
hearing about it now? He just got a beautiful biplane, probably about I don't know what a month ago. It's like white purple finish. It's bad. It's pretty cool. Um, but I'm with you, EQRC. As far as the I'm more into bombers. I love bombers, and I feel like there's not that many bombers out there. You've got I dare to say, let me put it this way: bombers that have the quality where you don't got to go in there and mess with a lot of stuff. So you've got what the B-24, and you've got this is kind of iffy the B-17 from Hobby King, which I don't think they make anymore, or they're out of stock of them. FMS had the B-25. Now LX has that B-25. You got to do some work to it, but the only place you can get it from is Banana Hobby, and I don't hear too many good stories about those guys. But yeah, Josh Reaver, you're right about that Mustang. That's really what makes it appealing to me. Well, back up. At first, I didn't like it because it's another Mustang, and I think Mustangs are this Honda Civics of the RC world. But the more I looked at it, the more I saw people fly it and talk about it, the more I got interested in it. And if the pits hadn't came out, I probably would be getting one of those because I can fly that here at the house relatively easy. Um, and I need something that I can fly at the house.
Yeah,
So
don't we all?
another point for the pits.
Hey, you might as well go ahead and hit that button, as the Petrinkic brothers say, man. Click that button.
Oh man, I don't know how I'd hide it from the wife.
Well, you know, hey, you know what, man? Fortunately, I'm so lucky that my wife could care less to watch the plane fly. Okay, um, and that bothered me a little bit to begin with, but at the end of the day, my wife helps me with all my graphics. She helps me with my channel. She helps me with another big project that we're working on right now, actually,
Hmm.
for a major company. And yeah, she does a lot for me, so I can't complain, man. She does support me, and a lot of guys don't have that. So um, Yeah, I'm at the end of the day pretty lucky. I mean, I don't care if she doesn't want to watch them fly as long as she helps me do everything else I need to do. I'm good, you know.
Oh yeah, and my wife doesn't. My wife necessarily doesn't care, but since I got my new machine, uh, you know, with the tooling aspect of it, it's pricey, and so I've kind of pulled back as far as some planes, and I've actually considered about selling some planes here locally.
Well, that's the thing. I've got several hanging in the garage right now that if I've outgrown them, and if I could sell them locally, guys could pick them up. I'd sell them all day long. I've got two of the de Havilland Beavers that came from Tower Hobbies, man, came with the floats, the bush tires. They're incredible. One of them's hanging right back here behind me now. That's an incredible little flying plane. I've actually got the orange one or the coral one over there that I started with first, and I liked it so much when this scheme came out. I got this one. They're great planes, man. I mean, they fly good off water, they fly good on land. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could, but we just don't have, a lot of people that want to buy used planes, and I'm not going to ship them. So, uh, what do? You just start sitting them around places. You buy a building, you buy a trailer. I mean, you put them in your spare bedroom. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when I moved out of my old shop. So my original shop was at my parents'. We had a pole barn. They have a pole barn, and my dad was gracious enough to let me use it for my CNC equipment there. And yeah, like I had it all above the well, it's like 7 foot above the on the wall is where I had the planes hanging. And the reason I did it that way is because we will use that shop for family reunions because there's only my extended family. My dad's side is so big that there's only two places that we can have it at, and they have kids. And of course, kids see the plane and they want to mess with it. And again,
Yeah.
hanger rash. So
Don't touch
put it up. Don't be touching that. Uh, I put them up higher, and so yeah, it works out. It's cool. Yo, Dennis. Hey, buddy.
What's
Mr.
up,
Farley's in
Dennis?
the house. Let me get
Yeah,
your bench, buddy.
that's right, man.
You are now my radar.
No, but
Better
Dave
act
Marshall,
right,
you
or
need to
Dennis is
go ahead and
gonna.
get that Spitfire, man. You'll love it, especially on calm days. It
Mhm.
flies incredibly well. As I said, the takeoff's just a little tricky, man, because of the narrow wheelbase. And she does want to nose over on you. So just be real easy on the throttle when you take off, get the tail up, and then just keep her nice and level. Stay on your right rudder. And once she lifts off, man, just ease into the power. Don't give it a lot of power. Just ease into the power, get her off the ground. And it is an amazing flying airplane once it's in the air, and it lands much easier than it takes off. And they present so well. As far as that plane and my Corsair, man, they're tit for tat in the air as far as flight characteristics and how they present and how they look. The Corsair is much easier to take off, in my opinion, because you have a wider wheelbase. I don't have to use flaps on the Corsair. It wants to fly anyway. So I do land with full flaps. Um, but you'll love that Spitfire, man. Just like I said, just don't try to fly it unless you are on a super calm day,
Mhm.
because you're already going to have nerves, man. I mean, let's face it, we all do on a maiden. I don't care what it is. Hell, I had nerves on my little UMX Timber. I mean, um, but so yeah, fly it on a super calm day when you get it, and just take your time, man. Like I said, ease into it easily, get that tail wheel up, get it tracking like you want it on the mains, let it roll, and then start to ease back into that elevator, man, and get her off. She'll come right off the ground because it wants to fly, and you'll love it, man. Great plane.
Since that Spitfire has got a elliptical wing, it's I bought a used one, and the guy, not that it really matters, he burnt the LEDs because he put a servo tester onto it versus going
Oh
through.
God.
Which hey, whatever. I mean, I got the plane for like $300 with two S batteries and sold S batteries for I think $150. So I got a pretty much brand new Spitfire for $150. But that that's a fun plane. I fly the P-47 a lot, so I have that um, skill set with that wing type. But no,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. I got up in the air one day and the wind picked up, and it's kind of like, oh shit, what now? You gotta land,
Yeah.
right? You gotta land.
Yep.
And I come in and land
Yep.
like you're riding that throttle down, decreasing that throttle, and it just start to come down, and all of a sudden that wind will pick back up, and it
Yeah.
wants to lift back up again.
Yeah,
But
well, and especially if you're getting any vortexes, man. I mean, if there's any swirling or you got any trees nearby and the wind's doing this, oh man. And we do at our field on one side. So sometimes we'll get a vortex, and
I get
it can kind of and the thing with the spit too, man. Just like the Corsair, if you don't pin that tail, once you get it down, it wants to. I mean, doing a touch and go is no problem. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
but you got to pin that tail once you get it down and to keep it on the ground.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because the thing about the Corsair is the gear is so long, so it's a cantilever to the servo housing, and you can break those pretty daggone easy. I just
Yeah,
happened to hop on. I think it was maybe Hobby Squawk or RC Grease, but a few guys were cutting the springs about 5 millimeters to give it not as much bounce, because those planes are really well, that plane in particular is very easy to bounce. And of course, if you bounce it once, it's probably going to bounce twice and do the whole porpoise down the runway um,
yeah.
in it. What's up, Ethan?
Well, and it was just like you and I were talking earlier today, and Dave Marshall was just talking about he'd love to see a Flightline P-47. If it's anything like the rest of the Flightline lineup, absolutely, Dave, I'm with you, because the FMS P-47, my friend was flying it this weekend at our field on Sunday afternoon, and I've got some beautiful video I'm going to be putting up. I'm actually editing it now, of his flights with that plane, with a sound system and everything. But again, it's like talking with him. The only problem with the FMS plane is you mess up a landing gear door, and you've got to buy a full $80 set of retracts to replace the door that closes. I mean, and that's crazy. I mean, that's one thing about your free wing stuff, man. You land something hard with a Corsair or Spitfire, you can go buy one retract. You can buy the servo alone, especially if nothing's wrong with your strut. You can go buy the gear door. So it's like I'm with you, Dave. I'd love to see them come out with a Flightline P-47, because they're beautiful planes and they fly really well, man. So yeah, definitely would like to see that.
So it's going to be Thompson's Hangar's birthday tomorrow, and he's asking the guys what plane should he get. It seems like the majority is leaning to the L-39, which is a great, great, great plane.
What is the skill set?
Right, that's the biggest thing. Well,
Yeah,
he's got some experience behind him. I've seen some of his videos, or at least, and I've seen him talk in the chats.
right.
Um,
Yeah.
but
But I mean, what are you comfortable with? I mean, are you more comfortable with jets? Or are you more comfortable with prop planes? And what is the biggest jet you have now that you fly and enjoy comfortably? And when I say comfortably, I mean you could take it out, whenever, and not stress over it. Like I do with some of my jets. I mean, I've got days I put up certain jets, and I'm still nervous as I am almost on a maiden flight until I get it back on the ground.
yeah, that first flight, man, it's like kind of got to go to the truck and take a shot of Captain Morgan just to calm the nerves a little bit. Because after that first
Yes.
flight, man, it's fun after that. But that first flight,
Yes.
Lord, I remember. So I only been flying. October was a year. So whatever, how many months is that? What, 4 months? So a year and 4 months. And when I had bought the B-17 from not Horizon Hobby, wow, Hobby King, and went to the field to fly it, when I got it in the air, I was so nervous. I was actually shaking, and you could see the plane like twitching as if it had the gyro gains were set way too high. And my mentor at the
Right.
time, Dan, he was like, "You got the gyro on that thing?" I was like, "This plane don't have a gyro." He goes, "Calm down, man." He's like, "You got this. I'm up beside you." But ever since that, man, it's just with each new maiden you get, I feel like, at least for me, you get more confidence in your skill set. So it becomes less. It still is nerve wracking, yes, but it's less nerve wracking.
Yeah,
But
I mean, and it is, but again, it all boils down to your conditions. I mean, you can have a straight downwind or a headwind, and it's a beautiful day. But if you
mm-hmm,
get a cross, well, that's a different situation that day with that same airplane that you flew yesterday. Um, a hotter day can be different on your electronics than a cooler day. The plane doesn't breathe as well on a hot, humid day because of the air density. Or density altitude, I guess is what you want to call it. So yeah, that's all got you got to factor all of that in. But Thompson was saying that he's going to get the L-39 like you have the camo, and
mm-hmm.
dude, that's a great plane, Thompson. Dustin's got it. I never got it, which several guys at our field have it. And yeah, it's an awesome flying jet, man. Dustin rocked it out that day at our field. Matter of fact, I put up a video of him flying it, so check that out. But yeah, everybody I've seen fly that jet loves it, so I don't think you'll be disappointed with that one at all.
No, not at all. Because the L-39, it covers a range of like flying styles. It's very stable at low speeds, but if you want to crank up the speed and really have some fun, you can do that as well. Um, I got a video where I put the camera actually on top of the cockpit, and the guys were laughing at me because I put like a half a roll of electrical tape on it, and they're like, "Why?" They're like, "Why so much tape?" I was like, "Man, I lost one of these like $100 cameras. Like, I ain't losing another one."
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think Thompson made the comment. He said he's addicted to jets, but not real comfortable with any of my big jets. Well, Thompson, it also depends on, I don't know, to me, sometimes bigger flies better, man. My free wing A10 is a big mofo, and it flies better to me than any jet in my arsenal, man. It's stable. It owns the sky. It tracks well. It lands well. It feels good in the air. It doesn't feel heavy like some other planes that I've got, and it is a heavy plane, but it doesn't relate that. And I don't know. Some guys, you see them flying a plane, and they'll say, "Oh, it feels heavy in the air," and a guy standing there will go, "What does he mean? What does he mean it feels heavy in the air?" Well, you guys that fly a lot and you fly jets and things like that, you know what I mean. You can just feel the sticks, and that plane feels either like a pig or it feels heavy in the air or whatever. You can feel it in everything and how it's flying, performing, etc. But the A10 it's one of the biggest jets I have other than this airliner. And the A10, it flies. I'm talking, I can't even put it into words how well it flies. So don't be afraid sometimes of a bigger jet,
Yeah.
because a bigger jet is more forgiving sometimes than a smaller jet that will bite you in the butt. I mean, especially if you come around too fast or coming in hot or whatever. Yeah, we've all been there and know that too. So yeah, don't be always afraid of the bigger jets, man. Especially if it's the right jet.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't get anything with a crazy wing loading on it, but something with a wider, bigger wing, like I said, the A10, what is it, the FMS, Arctic Camo A10, man, would be a great one too.
Oh yeah, and like my thing is like with the A10. So the A10 is actually what got me back into the hobby. I was doing some machine work, and I was just letting YouTube like just do its deal because I got tired of listening to music and just was basically listening to shows. And it came up was like, "Oh, RC, your A10, we're gonna put some Nerf whistles in it," and like it was flying. And I was like, I stopped and like kind of was like looking at it like because I used to fly when I was a kid, so I kind of was like, "Well, what do we got here? Oh, this is foam. Oh, this is a beer cooler. We're flying a beer. Okay, okay." And then and so with as a present to me when my daughter was born, my dad had bought me the A10 because that's the only thing I would think I could talk about. And so I had those butterflies because it's the A10. It's just so expensive, but then also it was a gift from my dad in remembrance of my daughter being born. It was about 2 months until I finally put that bird in the air. But when I did, I was like, "Is this it? Is this really?" It was like the butterflies instantly went away. Um, Very docile. It's heavy, of course, but it is just really efficient. Light wing loading, straight
Yep.
wing. So you got
Well,
some.
I tell you, man, I've got the F7F Tiger Cat prop plane, and I will tell anybody that's one of my most favorite prop planes to fly. It will fly in 20-mile-an-hour winds, like it owns the sky. My A10 to me is my F7F, man. It flies that stable. It feels that good in the air. They almost feel like they weigh about the same in the air to me. And it behaves, and the wings are kind of in shaped alike. I mean, the planes almost have somewhat of the same shape if you kind of sit them side by side and look at them, as far as the length, the wingspan, where the nacelles are compared to where the motors are. There's a little difference there, but I mean, I don't know, weight for weight, they feel the same kind of in the air to me, and perform almost the same. And that's what helped me when I started flying the A10 was, well, it does fly a lot like the F7F. So if any of you guys are flying the F7 and love it, definitely step up. If you want a jet, step up to that Freewing A10 or the FMS. I think you'll be very happy because they fly a lot alike.
Yeah,
And Deuces was saying a while ago that F4 is not a good jet for beginners. No, it's not, man. That is a lawn dart waiting to happen. Okay?
Oh God.
It's shaped like a dart. It looks like a dart. It is a dart. I mean, so
looks like a duck, quacks like a duck is a duck.
yes, yes. That plane is a handful, man. We've got one of our guys that flies it at our field, and he's a great pilot, but he will tell you that jet's a handful. So, right on, Deuces. You got that right, buddy.
Yeah, and Thompson too is if you my next step after on so when I went to the field to maiden the jet, I had three jets. I had the Viper, the F-16, and the F-4 from E-flite, and the E-flite F-16 Thunderbird, which is actually one of my favorite EDFs. One, I like the Thunderbirds. Two, it's easy to see just because of the white and the red and then the dark blue, just a contrast to it. And I went out there and flew put 3 batteries through the Viper. I was like, all right, good flights. Let's step it up. Went to the F-16, then went to the F-4. And I had issues with F-4 as far as it's like servos giving out and whatnot. And it was the first batch, so I think that's just that little luck of the straw. That batch was just bad. But got that all sorted out. But the F-22 was my next step, and I wanted a 90 millimeter docile as could be, like trainer type plane, and that F-22, like, that is it. The only thing I will say about the F-22 is it carries its speed and its weight very well. So be cognizant of and aware that as you make that base turn to come in to land, like you need to be off throttle well before that turn, or at least just have like a little bit of throttle into it just to bleed off that speed if, again, you're going fast, because it wants to float. It really, really wants to float.
Yeah. Well, and they call it a flying flounder for a reason, because it's pretty wide and everything. But that day you were at our field, man, you flew the crap out of it, and you were doing some nice high alphas with it, which impressed me because I hadn't really seen anybody do that until you did it that day, and you were jamming on it, man. That looked really good. But again, Dave Marshall talking about the Avanti being a great first jet or whatever, and yeah, it is a great first jet. It's a very forgiving jet. My first jet when I got into EDFs, man, was the F-86 by Freewing, and I don't know, guys. That for me, it was a great jet. It was a very forgiving jet, easy to land, easy to fly. I don't even know if they had the Avanti then. I'm not sure. When I first bought my F-86, might have came out right after. And it's more of a sport jet, whereas I like the military birds better.
Mhm.
I do have the Stinger, which I converted into a T45.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So and the Stinger is kind of like the Avani. But that is a great jet and be a great first one for people that are wanting to get into it. Definitely.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Avani fly off grass. I know there's some talk going on right now about whether the Avani was it whether the you guys talking about the Avanti, I believe. But
Yes.
no, all my planes I fly off grass. Um, the only thing about the F-16, the 70 millimeter from E-flite, is when you come in, you got to come in like a high alpha. You got to keep that nose gear up as long as you
Yeah.
can, and make sure you don't hit no bumps. But kind of switching gears here a little bit. If you guys hold on, let me go get this.
This F-16 is a lot the same way right here. This is the 90 millimeter version. I try to come in with a little bit of nose up, not too much because it'll start to do this on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want the nose down either because then it's coming in hot. So there's that sweet spot you got to find, and then I use my throttle more than the elevator to get that nose up or down.
Oh yeah. So guys, if you kind of a tech tip, and some of you guys may know this or may not, but if you ever bend the pin for the strut that goes into the servo, an easy way of getting that fixed is go to Lowe's, buy you a 3 or 4 millimeter drill bit, or you can buy the actual fractional size. You have to just Google it. Um, and so you'll have the shank, which is the smooth portion. All they have to
Um,
do is take a get high speed steel. So that'd be HSS. Don't get cobalt. Get high speed steel, and just cut. Just take a Dremel wheel and just cut
yep.
that shank off, and boom, there's your pin. And for
Exactly.
102s, you can use piano wire as well. But in a pinch, you can definitely use the old drill bit trick.
Right, and the F4 free wing and the free wing A10 both use the same nose pin strut. So if you break either one of those off or either of those jets, they are interchangeable. Just in case any of you guys didn't know that. And those two are two for some people Achilles heels on the F4 and the A10 if you don't have it set up properly, especially on that A10. You will break that nose strut in the F4. But, a lot of guys were complaining about breaking the F4 main nose gear strut off on landing. Well, guys, there's several ways of looking at that. You can look at it as the fact, okay, well, I broke a $2 nose pin, or I tore out everything out of the front end of my jet, and I've got to replace servos, nose gear, struts, pins, the whole 9 yards. I don't know about you, but I'd rather replace a pin myself, or like Dustin said, go grab a drill bit at Lowe's, cut it off, stick it in there, and I'm back flying.
Yeah, and the F-16 it's tippy. Like you've got to bleed. If you add any type of rudder, period, it will tip that wing and rub that wing on the ground. Um,
Yep.
the most thing I see is if you use a drill bit, your plane will turn better in the air.
Who wrote that?
It's smart. Josh Weaver.
Ah, there
The
you go.
but the well, I see a lot of these like I don't say a lot of guys. I see a lot of newer guys that get in the jets that are flying on grass. Is when they come down, is they'll hit those mains and they'll just relax the elevator, so the nose just comes plopping down relatively
Yeah,
hard, and it's just kind of like just ride that out and just
bleed it off.
bleed that speed off and just let that nose come down when it wants to.
Yeah.
In it.
Well, but if it's like a lot of people, man, I think you're just, I've been there too. You're nervous, so you're ready to get that plane on the ground.
Right.
And hey, if it's on the ground, it's on the ground. It don't matter if it's 2 down or 3 down. If it's on the ground, you're there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you're right. If you come down on that nose wrong, it's just like that MiG 17 that I've got, which I love. That is one of my favorite flying planes. And I watched Deuces fly it many times before I flew mine. and talked to him actually before I flew mine about the CG. That plane is incredible, man. It's one of my favorite go-to jets, guys, for the money. You can't beat it. You know, some people have said, oh, well, it's got crap servos. Well, you know what? I haven't had a problem with a single servo yet. I haven't had any problems at all with mine, guys. I mean, the biggest issue I've had with mine was the skid plate under the back end of the jet that may drag the ground when you come in on the mains is foam. Why they didn't make that hard, I don't know, but I did make mine out of balsa and replace it. I did a video on it. Check it out. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But yeah, Deuces, man, he and Ray, both of them guys can land that plane, buddy. Like it's like on two, and it's just like bah, 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 and it touches down. I flew mine Sunday. Look, it was my last flight Sunday. I landed like that, man, and everybody at the field was like, "Oh my God, that was beautiful." They were like, "You just need to back away from the damn runway. Don't turn around and walk away. Back away." I said, "You know what? That's when you pack it up and you go home. You know what I mean? That's when the day was good. It's over. Go home. It's time. You know."
I'll Oh, you're welcome, Josh. Hey, Bledsoe, he's here. Good deal. Good deal.
What's up, Bledsoe?
So, Thompson, do you know what bird you're going to get yet? Or let me just say this. Have you narrowed it down to, like, say, 3 birds? I don't know what the delay is here just yet. But, yeah, so I saw Ray, Josh Weaver saying how when Ray lands the F-104, how he'll wheelie it down the runway. I've seen that video. Ray. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Again, it is Ray. Okay.
Yeah, so, I know,
right? Yeah.
I mean, you hear that wind through that mic. It's like sounds like a
Cat 5 how about it? I mean, it's always like wind where he's at, man.
Yeah, and Ray just sitting there like, yeah, guys. Like, I put rockets on my plane because it doesn't go fast enough.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, he's a damn trip.
But he's got a beautiful field, man. I've never flown off of asphalt like a lot of you guys do. And I'd love to try it, or geotech. I've never done it. I've always flown off of grass, but our field is so beautiful. I mean, I'm seriously, guys, I can't tell you enough. It is like a fairway in a golf course. I mean, not only is it tight grass, but it is smooth. I mean, there's like hardly no bumps in it. I mean, he rolls this thing with a wheel that compresses like you do asphalt with and beats it, and it's smooth. So I'd love to fly off of asphalt or geotech, but I've heard that it can be very unforgiving as well, especially if you're coming in hot, your plane hits the ground and your wheels do this and you tip your wings. And Ray, I'm sure, and a lot of you other guys can chime in on that as well. So, yeah, grass is forgiving. We were talking about Sunday. It'd be nice if we had a nice strip of geotech to take off with our jets, but still land on our grass strip because the grass is more forgiving. So, just my thoughts.
Well, whenever you want to get some geotech, let me know.
Well, Frank was talking about it Sunday, so you let me know what you know. So,
well, I'm just saying we sell it. We sell the fabric.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically like erosion. It's a erosion barrier. Is all it really.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying to get it from the DOT. It was where he had talked about trying to buy some of it because he wanted to do about 1,000 foot by 12 foot wide down one side of our grass runway there nearest to the hangar where we work on our planes. You know where I'm talking about. Oh. And that's what he was talking about, man, was, buying some from DOT was the best place he found to buy it.
I'll have to check in on that because I know the DOT buys it from our supplier. And that too is the government, so they really don't care about price.
Yeah, Deuces, everybody don't have AstroTurf, brother. Okay, so you just pipe down over there, all right?
Oh man.
Yeah, I can see. Let's just go to Lowe's and buy some turf, Dustin. Just go
Have
throw it
some
out.
turf.
Yeah,
We'll
just
just
get a big
load it.
roll of
We'll just
turf and
load it
roll it
up
out.
on like this big roller. I'll go on the runway and just
Yeah,
take one end down and just roll it down, pack it
that's
back up.
right.
But no, it could yeah, you get you get no forgiveness with pavement because it's a hard surface. So whatever was it Newton's third law?
Yeah,
Whatever. Oh man, I just had a brain fart. Wow, I'm an idiot. Equal and opposite reactions. That's what I'm trying to say. So you come down hard, you know, you come down hard on a vertical plane, you know, that asphalt isn't going to cushion anything like grass or dirt will. It's going to pop
right.
up.
Well,
No,
and you got a lot more rollout on asphalt or geotech or any of those too than you do grass. Grass does kind of help slow that plane down.
yeah, and I'm curious to see. I know, like talking about like the HSD jet earlier in the night, how it comes with
Yeah.
brakes. I'm curious how if any adjustment needs to be made, or how much of a pain in the butt it is to set up to where when you apply the brakes, it slows down in a straight line and not veers left or right. I was kind of curious about that with other manufacturers that have brakes or a brake system in general.
Yeah. Well, and too, again with the HSD on grass, you really wouldn't need brakes.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think. I'd rather have that rollout on grass
Right.
with that
Yeah.
jet.
Yeah. It's just one of the things I've been curious about because there's not much YouTube videos that I've seen that have like a kind of like a how to about brakes or adjusting the brakes or how basically to get it to the brake in a straight line. Um,
Right.
everybody's just talking about AstroTurf.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to fly on. You see the felt they put down at Joe Knoll last year?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's killer. I think that would be probably if I had to pick between asphalt, geotech, and the felt. I think I'd rather have the felt than any of them, man. I think that would be my go-to if I had to pick.
I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. I've only ever flew off grass, so I had no clue. I honestly thought about taking my UMX Timber out to my neighborhood and flying it and landing on the pavement
Yeah.
house, but I've got a few neighbors that wouldn't like me quote unquote flying over their house, which I ain't trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
So with
Well, Dave Marshall, you got the runway that you fly off of with James near you, I believe, where you flew your T-33 and your P-51. That's a nice runway you guys have got there too. The only thing that gets me about where you guys fly, and it's just from where I'm sitting looking at a video, it doesn't look real long, and then you got trees at both ends, so it's almost like you got to do
like a
a
fishbowl.
hard, yeah, you got to come in pretty hot and slow that plane down to get it to land and not run off the runway or anything. I mean, am I accurate there? Because that's how it looks in the videos, even though it's a beautiful field you guys have.
Well, Dave, you got some lucky neighbors who's saying how he flew his UMX Timber in his neighborhood, which I don't know if you fly over somebody's house, and I haven't looked into this because I haven't thought about doing this. If you fly over somebody's house, that's not breaking any rules, is it?
They don't own the airspace, so there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But again, it's like people I live next door to or like in the vicinity of my house, so it's not like I'm trying to, you know, become public enemy number one, which I probably already am.
Well, the only biggest problem with it, man, is if something would happen and you'd hit their house or hit their car, you're not at an AMA sanctioned field, so AMA isn't going to help you if you don't have AMA, and or even if you do have it, they're not going to help you. So it's going to fall on your homeowners to fix whatever, and then you've got a real pissed off neighbor with you. So that's really the only thing they can do. It's no one flying a drone around your neighborhood. As long as you're up in the air, if they shoot it down, they're going to get in trouble, not you, because they don't own the airspace. So.
Right, right. And I've always been kind of curious on that. Hey,
What's up,
Colin.
Colin? How you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? Let me give you a El Rincidente. Oh, man. Let's see here. How many people we got in here tonight?
I'm showing 15 right now.
That's cool. I'll take
Hey,
that.
I'm
That's
cool.
our
Hey,
first. That's
look, I'm glad to have anybody. So,
right, right. Especially with us two duds talking.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
appreciate all you guys' support, man.
absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Dave, how are you? How are you liking your P-51?
On the ground right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, didn't you? Yeah, I think he messed up the gear or something with a bumpy landing the other day, is what he was saying.
You amateur. I'm kidding. It can happen to anybody.
Damn right it can.
Now watch me go and fly and like rip out like all three retracts. I'm gonna feel like a dumbass.
Belly landed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I've done that. I've done that in a daggone heartbeat.
Yeah.
Cause like the F-15 and F-16, the 64 millimeters, I'll take
Yeah.
clear packaging tape and tape over the bottom of them, and then the what was it, a Wildcat or the Hellcat? It's they consider it I think they consider it, no, it's the Park Flyer from E-Flight.
It's like, did you see Boozers a couple of days ago? They were hand tossing, what was it, the E Flight
Yeah, the
F
F-16.
16? Yeah.
Yeah, so them doing that, I thought they took out the retracts, but no,
No, they were in
they
there,
didn't.
man.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, they probably just took out the retracts. I was more balls than I do.
Oh, Dennis, he's probably eating Skippy somewhere, man. Don't let him kid you. I ain't never seen somebody that skinny that eats as much as the damn boy does. I don't understand it. I think he puts it in his pockets. I don't know. I'm sitting here talking to him last night, man. He's eating like this mammoth burger, fries, and just cramming it in. I'm like, damn, man.
That was a chicken sandwich. That was a Cajun
Well, it was
American
big, whatever it
cookout.
was. That's a big sandwich. That's all I know.
Oh man, oh man. Now I got the. Yeah, buddy. I still got my skibbies beside me. Oh man, it's too funny. That is too funny. Not because I put, and that's the same jar I posted that picture of in I don't know where I think it was the Motions Facebook group. And I posted a picture of my meal, and it had like some part stuff I was working on, and I had the Skippy's like peanut butter on there, the jar on there. I was walking out, I was like, man, I gotta take a picture of this.
Hey, Deuces, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate the support, buddy. And
Yeah,
it ain't
man,
gonna be
thank you,
long for
sir.
me either, buddy. I got to work tomorrow too. But thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, sir. I think we're gonna wrap it up here shortly. We've been on here for an hour and 28 minutes. Let's wrap it up at an hour 30. That's a good start.
Awesome, man. Yes, that'll work.
This been a everybody's got to go to work tomorrow. I got to finish some stuff up on the mill, and
Yep.
got some new soft jaws, and get some stuff out for a customer for Thursday.
I'd like to give a shout out to David Bledsoe tonight with Bledsoe Trains and RC for giving us the opportunity to take his spot tonight on Tuesday night. Thank you, David, for reaching out to me, man, and letting me know that we could jump in here. I really appreciate you looking out for us, buddy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, Bledsoe. That was awesome when Jeff got a hold of me. It mentioned that you were going to be on tonight. That if we wanted to roll, let's do this thing. And I thought I had this whole thing figured out. And then right before about to go live, I realized I didn't.
Hey, Dave, I'm tuning in for Amy more now, man. So don't kid yourself,
You
buddy.
ain't.
Okay.
Look, Dave married up on that one.
I'm telling
He
you,
got the
right?
short end of the stick. Let me tell you. Bless talking about midget strippers are locked in Kenny's shed. They're underneath the table.
Yeah, where's Kenny at tonight, man? Of all people, you
Oh,
know. And look, I want to give another shout out real quick to Josh Weaver. Josh, I just want to say to you, man, the stuff you do on Wednesday nights before GB comes on, showing my videos, other guys' videos, and lifting us up, man, and giving us the spotlight for an hour or a few minutes for a video here and there. Dude, I've told you in the chats, I've talked to you personally. What a great thing, man. You don't know how good it makes me feel personally to have you show my videos and talk about them and brag about them to other guys during your show. So what a great thing you're doing, man. You're an awesome guy. I love your whole demeanor. I love seeing Rhonda and you guys together on there. All you guys are doing great, man. So I think it's a wonderful community. Let's all just keep up the great work and just keep hanging in. Check out all these guys that have been in here tonight. And thank all you guys for the support. And my buddy Dustin, man, dude, this has been great, man. And I enjoy flying with you, buddy.
absolutely, man. I couldn't have done without you. And to Josh as well, man. I don't know. Well, you guys know this if you're tuning into his channel, and I honestly don't get to tune in as much because I'm here in the shop after hours. But air compressor purge going off. We're kind of in the same work, and like we bounce a lot of ideas off each other, and it's cool. It's awesome, not cool. It's awesome to have that camaraderie with your fellow friends, just to be able to
Yes.
just to bounce ideas. I mean that's
Yes, it
that's
is.
just cool.
That's right. And that's what I say, man. And just lifting other people up. You know, I mean, this world we live in today is, God, man, it's every day. It's death. It's killing. It's people dying. You know, and Josh, man, I mean, you're just doing something positive, man, to lift people up, man. What a great thing. I just think that's awesome of you to put yourself to the side and put other people in the spotlight, man. I just thumbs up, dude. I just think that's incredible of you, man. And Ray, you help out the kids at your field, man. You get them flying. I just admire you for that. I wish we could get more young people into this hobby because I don't want us to be a dying breed, man. And it is such a great hobby for young kids. It keeps them off the streets. It keeps them off the video games. It's like playing live video games, you know? So, you know, Ray, keep it up, man, and try to keep these kids coming to the field and helping them out, buddy. You're doing a great job, dude.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and he's got he has got a lot of patience.
Yes.
And I wish more people had patience. I got that's kind of like one of my character flaws. I've got patience up to like a certain point, and yeah, but I mean that's everybody. Everybody's different.
That's
But
right. Well, Ray's just good. I've watched him with these young guys at the field and helping them balance fans and helping them with their maiden flights and setting their planes up. And, you know, I mean, he could be flying, man, and he's helping other people. And I just think that's an awesome, awesome thing. And cooking out, man. You see him today. He had the grill loaded for everybody, man. He's cooking. I mean, awesome to you, buddy. You guys keep up the great work, man. Keep pulling good people into this great hobby. Another thing, guys, I thought about, please, if you haven't done it, go to the website. Dustin, if you can, drop a link, man. Everybody go to the FAA website and put in a comment before March the 2nd on this whole thing, guys. We have got to save this hobby and not be so regulated on our flying our planes and doing what we love, guys. And your voice, my voice, everybody, one voice can make a difference. And you know, Rich Baker put out an incredible video. Flight Test guys have put out a video. RC Informer, all these big guys, man, are pulling together to help us little guys to do what we love. So the least we can do is let our voice be heard. Go to a website, write a comment, tell them not to do this stuff, man, or at least give it more time before they make a decision. So it only takes one extra vote, man, to really drive this thing home, guys. So all of you, please let your voice be heard, man. Don't think, oh, my voice doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. It does matter, guys. We all matter, and if we love what we do, then let's come together, stick together, and kick this thing in the ass, and show them what we're working with here, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, look, a lot of people, and regardless of how your feelings feel about firearms, I was a firearm instructor, and when states talk about, hey, we're going to put this legislation ahead, or we're going to do this ban, a lot of people, they sit back and they're like, this wasn't happen. This won't happen. They ain't no way this will happen. And then it does happen, and then they're flabbergasted, and they get mad. Or like when we have elections, people are like, oh, I don't like this president. First thing I ask, did you vote? No.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, you really don't got nothing to talk about because you didn't participate. That's what
Bam.
our rights as citizens here is.
That's
Elected
right.
officials, it's crooked as it is, I know, but lesser of two evils. But still, guys, we can't set aside and just kind of let the government railroad us over and allow big. Yeah, Ethan, you can only comment once. Any other comment after that will be thrown out. They may throw out the original comment as well. I do not know. So if you commented already, leave it. If you haven't commented, go comment.
And be respectful, like Bledsoe and Dave Marshall said. Be respectful, guys,
Yeah.
because it really looks like it makes us look like we got common sense. If we act like a bunch of hillbillies, they're not going to listen to that, and they're going to go, "Yeah, we're definitely going to keep you from flying, buddy." So you definitely, guys, be respectful and show them that, hey, this is a passion. We love what we're doing, and we're not here to hurt anybody. We're here to help kids and other people, and keep this wonderful hobby that's been going on for years going, guys.
Yeah, and it's with the whole commenting deal. You don't need to copy and paste anything that you see on the internet. It needs to actually be wrote in your words by yourself for them to count it because they are looking for copy and paste. And if they do find it, well, they're going to disregard that. So don't do that.
That's right. Yep.
But we can't. Dave says don't go and drop a bunch of f-bombs, and Josh follows up with, well, what's a bunch of f-bombs? Like how many's a bunch?
Nothing's wrong with hillbillies, Dave. Calm down. You know what I'm saying. We're all rednecks here, buddy. If we're from North Carolina in the South, I'm a redneck. Come on. You know what I mean, man. Chill out.
Yeah. We're from the state where NASCAR was born.
Damn right. We'll pull my shirt up right now and do this.
Oh boy. On that note.
Yes.
Oh man, that's awesome, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've actually went past the time by about 8 minutes. No big deal. But I just want to say thanks again for everybody for tuning in. Thank you. I know I've been kind of looking at my screen just to follow your comments.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for everything again. For tuning in for Jeff and I. Thanks, Jeff, for being on here, allowing us to do this together. Bledsoe, and everybody else that helps in this hobby. You got GB, you've got Josh Weaver, Weaver's RC, you've got
Dave's RC, Wreckham Roy, Roughness.
You can just name them off, man. I'm so
Skip Built RC, Gooniac. Yes, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of guys. I mean, we really do.
Yes.
If you guys take your time out of your day and in the night, everybody's got to go to work tomorrow to come here. So I feel very humble and very blessed. So thank you guys for that.
Yes, thank you guys very much for being here in your time. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. So we'll catch you guys next time. Next time we decide to do this, I will put a Facebook invite. Hopefully, we'll know. If we ever do this again, we're going to do this again. We hope to have a little bit more notice. That way we can get kind of the word out, if you will, in that regard. So I appreciate it. Thanks again, everybody, and have a good one.
See you guys.
Take care, guys. Bye now.